Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I've got another video for you today. This one is another TTM video. TTM, if you don't already know, stands for through the mail. And what I do is I will take some cards, a self-addressed stamped envelope, as well as a letter that I individualize to the player where I will go and request that they sign some cards. They usually oblige and they will drop the cards back in the mail signed, and I will receive them back. Most players do it for free. Some do charge a little bit, $5, $10, nothing too crazy. But it's always fun to kind of have that interaction, kind of a pen pal sort of thing. Usually it doesn't go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's usually kind of to them and then back to you, and that's it. But just kind of cool to have that interaction. Some people like to ask questions, and they'll write like on a postcard some specific question for the player to answer, and the players will answer them. I haven't gotten really into that yet, although, maybe I should. If you guys think I should, let me know. But I have not done that yet. I usually will just send some cards, and there's a question of what is a good number of cards to send. Should you send just one? Should you send 3 or 4? I don't know what the sweet spot is for where it tends to look a little bit like greedy. I think 5 to 7 is greedy, but I think 3 is probably pretty fair. Some players only want to sign one, and they'll send back. If you send more than one, they'll just sign one, and the others back unsigned. Some will keep cards and only sign like their number, whether it's 2 or 3 or whatever their number is. So each player is different, and it's hard to always know, especially if you're not familiar with that player, like what is a fair request with them. But sometimes they'll let you know by not signing certain ones. So I usually I think 3 is a good number. Sometimes they'll send 4. It depends on the player, it depends on the situation. But I tend to do like 2 or 3. Sometimes if I just have one card of the player, I'll just send one. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into what came in this week. So starting off, we've got a player. He was a pitcher who played for the Red Sox, the Twins, and the A's. And he was, his name's Tom Bergmeyer. Played from the mid-70s through the mid-80s. I ended up getting a 77 tops of him when he was with the Twins, as well as 81 Fleer and 81 tops. Wasn't partial to 81 or anything. Those were just the cards I had of him. I didn't have like a card of him on the A's or anything. So ended up getting those ones, and I think they all look really good. So I'm happy to get those. And next up, we've got Wayne Gross. Wayne Gross was another 70s to mid-80s, mid-70s to mid-80s player. He played for the A's initially. As you can see, there's his Trophy Cup rookie card. I think he may have been on like a 77 4-person card, but this is like his full card rookie with the Trophy Cup, which looks pretty good. And then I've got a later career Orioles card, and his signature is kind of looks like a little kid did it, but if you ask me, but still kind of cool to get his signature. So happy to get those and add those to the collection. And this one's probably my favorite one. This is Ben Ogilvy, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know that I really like Tigers. They're my team. They're the one I grew up with in Michigan. Yeah, so although I was not alive in the 1970s, but I still like to collect all Tigers. But we got Ben Ogilvy. He started off with the Red Sox, wasn't that great when he was with them. Then he came to the Tigers, and then like something happened in 77 or 78, and he just started hitting home runs and hit like 20 or something in 77 or 78. I have to look again, but and then just kept being a solid home run hitter for forever. And unfortunately, we traded him, or Tigers traded him to the Brewers in the 80s, and he hit home runs for the Brewers instead of the Tigers. But I went with his 1975 and 76 tops Tigers cards, which are pretty cool. And then also, because I just love the picture on this one, I went with the 87 tops one. Love his smile on that one, and just great picture, so happy to get that one as well. So we got 3 from Ben Ogilvy, great player. Underrated player, I think. But let's switch sports. We've got, there we go, sorry. sideways pictures, so he had to hold them differently. We've got Bob Carpenter, and Bob Carpenter was, he started off in the 80s. He was playing for the Washington Capitals for most of the 80s, and then he kind of switched around teams in the 90s, played for the Bruins as well as the Devils, and may have been on other teams, don't know, but just a good player, and nice to get his autograph. I think it looks really great. I love these sideways images. Plus with the ice, it kind of gives him a spot to sign it without too much busyness going on. But the signature looks great. I'm happy to add those to the collection. Next up is, this guy's a pretty big TTMer. I see a lot of people posting photos of their cards that they got back from Reggie Theus. He played from the 70s through the 90s, was just a great basketball player throughout, or just consistent. And I think now he coaches for like a college team or something, but he's really responsive, really big TTM guy. I'm happy to add him to the collection as well. And then next up we have Franklin Stubbs. He wasn't the biggest star player, but he was always consistent, solid type player. Played for the Dodgers. I think this is his rookie card, the 1985 Topps. Got him in 1988 Topps, and then 1991 when he went over to the Astros. His signature is wild. Look at that. It's like not the same on any of those. It looks almost like he just like scribbles all over the card. He may actually just scribble randomly. I don't know if he actually like has a signature, or if that's just like his way of like, because if you look at none of those three have like any consistency whatsoever. Like, not that they need to say Franklin Stubbs or anything, but it's just like abstract art. But anyway, I'm glad that he scribbled all over my cards and signed them. So happy to add Franklin Stubbs to the collection. And then next up, we've got back to hockey. And we've got Reggie Lemelin. He was in the 80s. He played for the Flames. Late 80s, he moved over to Boston and played for them in the 80s and 90s. But got this nice old O-Pee-Chee card of him on the Flames with like a Molson. That must be like a practice jersey or something. As well as a couple cards of him on the Bruins. So cool cards. Happy to add those to the collection. And then next up is another big TTM guy. We've got Larry Boa. I see a lot of people posting Larry Boa cards and signatures. Larry Boa knows how to sign in the right spot. For instance, this 1974 Topps, he signed on the grass instead of across that big black middle of the card thing. If you signed across the black part, you would not see a signature, but he's probably signed a lot of these and knows where to sign. But we've also got the 1978 Topps as well. Both of those are on the Phillies. And then in the mid-80s, he was on the Cubs. And this 85 Flair was not a really good choice because it's blue on blue. But that was the card I had of him, so that's what I sent. And so he signed all three for me, which I'm really happy to get those. And then now we're going back to the 60s and 70s. Oops. Put that one back. We've got Dick Green. He played for the A's in the mid-60s to mid-70s. I'm not sure how long his career was, but he was part of that big, huge three-time World Series winning A's team. 2 World Series weren't enough. They had to get 3, which was pretty impressive and pretty cool. So got Dick Green in 1965 Topps, which I really love that set, and that card looks great. As well as 10 years later, we've got him on the 1975 Topps as well. So we've got 2 cards of him, which are pretty cool. And then we have Bobby Shantz. Bobby Shantz is going to be turning 100 years old, like within a couple days or so, like this month. He still is a big TTM guy. He charges $5 a signature. His signature still looks great at 100 years old, or nearly 100. Not shaky or anything, but he was a really good pitcher in the 1950s and 1960s. Jim Cott, will reference him as a big influence on like his style. I guess Jim Cott would like watch him and learn from him and kind of mimic and copy his style, and he attributes a lot of his playing and his good pitching to what he learned from following Bobby Chance, which is a great pitcher and just a great card to add. And hopefully he'll live 100 more years. So it's cool that he's still at it and still signing. So happy to get that. And then we've got Phil Roof. Phil Roof is another 1960s A's player, as well as he in the 70s he went to play for the Twins, played catcher. Just cool to have him as well. And then I'm not as big of a football person as a football fan, follower as I am other sports. I like hockey and baseball best, but and basketball a little better than football. But I will watch Broncos games and stuff when people have it on or whatnot. But we got Carl Mecklenburg, who I guess he was a good Bronco in the 1980s, and I had a card of him, and so it's fun to kind of get some Broncos local quick turnaround. So happy to get that. And then lastly, got a really good hockey goalie from the 80s and 90s, Bill Ranford. This is a really cool picture, this upper deck one. It's got him like on the ice, like doing an action shot, catching the puck or stopping the puck, which really cool to get that one signed, as well as a 91 Topps and a Pro Set, which I don't know what year this is. Pro Set kind of all look the same, but it's like 92 or 93 Pro Set. But got 3 Bill Ranford cards, which really happy to get those this week as well. So that concludes the this week's returns for my through the mail. So I'm very happy to get this stack of cards. We'll see how many come next week to see whether or not I make another video. But before I forget, let's look at another thing I wanted to show as well, which is kind of in the same realm as TTM, although this wasn't like signed through the mail. But it was one I bought off eBay, and it's a player who's passed away, Mark Fidrich. And I've always loved Mark Fidrich, the bird, but he passed away a few years ago in a tragic accident, and before I was doing TTM. And I'm not really a big collector of like autograph cards, but I kind of wanted this one. I don't know why, but I just did. And I was kind of looking and comparing signatures, and this one kind of looked in line with and consistent with like his other ones. Not that there's a lot of people faking Mark Fidrich signatures. There's no like underground Mark Fidrich probably fake signature market, but I wanted to get his signature on a card, and this one was pretty cool. So I got that a couple months ago. Just happy to add that one to the collection because I couldn't get it through the mail or otherwise. So yeah, cool card. And then the other thing that I got off eBay, which is not a through the mail thing, but I just wanted to show because it was cool and I was happy to get it, is my this week I got a 1978 Alan Trammell rookie, 1978 Topps, but it's the Burger King version. And if you guys don't know about these things, normally Alan Trammell's rookie, as you probably all know, is the 4-person picture. It's got Paul Molitor and like UL Washington and some other guy on it. I think people just go for Paul Molitor or Alan Trammell on it. But Burger King made 4 team set that I think they sold or something or gave away. I don't know. I wasn't alive at the time, but it was some sort of marketing thing with Burger King where they made the Tigers, the Yankees, I think the Astros, and then one other team just did like team sets. And in the Tigers one, you got full card rookies of Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, and Jack Morris. The other players, I think they were just like the same pictures as the regular set, but these are not as common as the normal base set, so they're pretty cool, and I've always wanted this card. And it is a PSA 6, and it's a recent slabbing, like within the last few months. You can tell by the number. And I think, it's one of those areas right now where I think there's a lot of bargains with kind of undergraded PSA cards because their grading standards have gotten so harsh recently that there's a lot of really nice looking cards that are coming back in low numbered slabs. And I think this was one of them where I look at this compared to like the raw versions or like other even sixes like from a couple of years ago. And this one just looked really spectacular, like almost like I paid like, you know, half of what I would pay for it raw, or half of it what I would have paid for it, otherwise, just based on looking at the card and not the grade. So I feel like I kind of lucked out on getting a really nice version of this card, and it is a 6. And look, it is the left right center ring's a little, it's not perfect, but otherwise it's a really nice looking card. Sorry, it's in a plastic thing, so it's glaring back at you. But anyway, I think there's a lot of opportunity for just buying like recently graded cards that are perhaps undergraded that just look good. So always look at the card, as they always say, and look for really like nice looking cards that perhaps were undergraded. So yeah, I mean, and I don't care that it says a 6 on it. It's a cool card, and I'm just putting it in my collection, and I really wanted Alan Trammell and Al Kaline are my two favorites from my favorite teams. So very happy to finally get this card. And as you know, like last at the Pikes Peak Card Show last weekend, I got the Jack Morris. This one's really got some centering issues, so I may want to replace it at some point, but it was only like $5, so happy to get Jack Morris. I still got to get Lou Whitaker. I may replace this one, as I said, but happy to get these cards and all the TTMs. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys are doing TTMing, I guess it's a verb, and getting cards through the mail, let me know what you guys have recently picked up and what players you're kind of like looking to send to. I mean, if I haven't sent to somebody that you think like I may not be on my radar, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll try to get a signature from them as well. But anyway, it's always fun hearing from you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.